This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of Nak Muay. Go check it out. So Wadi Kop, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast. Okay, joining us today, we have Stephen Bobinchuk. I say that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome. So, Stephen, you're located where in Florida exactly?
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Nice. Isn't it nice over there right now?
It's on and off. It's extremely nice, and then 5 minutes later is a tornado warning. So
oh shit!
It's been a little crazy, like flash floods. It's nuts, but it's nice.
Yeah. So do you guys get like the monsoon seasons? Then that sounds like.
Yeah, I mean we've kind of been in a drought, I would say, but yeah, it's monsoon is a full go.
Oh yeah, because you guys get hurricanes, all that crazy shit over there too.
Yep. We're ready for it. It's coming.
Did you grow up there?
Basically, yeah. I was born in Seattle, and I've lived in Florida basically all my life since I was 2. So.
Okay. And how old are you now?
32.
That's not bad. Okay, so you lived there 30 years of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 31. We're same age. I get it. Yeah, we're not that old, man. We got some gray hairs, but we're not that old. So, it was funny. Just yesterday, you're hitting me up. You got one of our best Eat Sleep Teep shirts on there. For those of you that don't know, huh?
It's a sweet shirt.
Yeah, man. We made those a long time ago, but it had like a guy on it. I didn't really like it. I'm like, I'm gonna simplify it, make it a little bit more just like subtle. If you don't know what a teep is, people come up to you and ask, like, what's a teep? So, you're part of Muay Thai Addict, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's your position with Muay Thai Addict?
So, I'm the custom manager. Mm-hmm. I deal with all the custom stuff for, like, if somebody wanted to buy a pair of shorts and customize it, I do that. I deal with all the gyms worldwide. Mm-hmm. And additionally, I've been doing a lot of the social media and graphics and things like that. Okay. So I work really closely with the owner, Dimitri. Mm. Have you met Dimitri?
I met him briefly in New York at the US Muay Thai Open.
Okay.
Yeah, I met him briefly out there. He hooked us up with like a pair of gloves when you guys first started making those.
Nice. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, they had like there's like the shiny red ones with like the purple thumb and stuff on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
those sick gloves. And then I also met Shannon. That was my first like time meeting anybody from Muay Thai Addict. I met him at WKA, and I think that was 2015.
15. Okay. I was competing at that one.
So I didn't meet you, but I met Shannon at that time. That was a crazy fucking tournament, right?
Yeah, I missed my flight home and everything. I waited the entire first day, and then I waited the entire Sunday, and I had to stay, like fighting for the belt.
Did you go straight to the finals?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you only do one rule set, or did you do a couple?
So on Saturday, I did the Muay Thai rules, and I fought some huge kid from Carolina. I lost in the Thai rules, all clinch, more so like wrestling, you know. Yeah, and then I did the kickboxing, and that's the one that I won.
Okay.
Fight that I won, I should say.
Yeah, it's cool that they do multiple rule sets and you can fight in different categories because then that way you get a lot more experience. That's what I liked about WKA in particular.
I mean, I do like that you have the opportunity to do that, but at the same time, I feel like the proof is in the pudding. You know, it's too much. Like, how can you have, not to badmouth anybody, but it just gets crazy. It gets crazy.
It is. It's definitely like... The first time I went to a WKA tournament was in Spain. So my friend fought at Nationals, and then he's like, hey, go to Spain, come coach me. And that's where I saw this stuff. I'm like, fuck, some of these guys are fighting like 6 times in a day.
It's wild.
Yeah, out there too, people get knocked out and they'll go fight later.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I always imagine if you get knocked out, they're just gonna cut you off at the tournament.
Yeah, here in the U.S., yeah, but over there, they didn't care. They're like, "Oh, you're good to go. Okay, yeah, you can go back."
Well, I mean, that's cool. If you're, I mean, just because you get put down, it doesn't mean you can't fight again. You'll be fine the next day, or 6 minutes later, maybe not.
Yeah, especially like a body shot or something like that. I see the head injuries. That one's a little bit like, it's hit or miss.
Yeah, for sure.
So, how did you get involved with Muay Thai Addict?
So, that goes way back. So Shannon originally started the company back in, I believe it was 2010. And he trained at the same gym that I trained at. So, I'll never forget this guy bringing in a big DHL box of shorts, and we were all just picking through what we liked. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So I've been around the company, very closely tied since the very beginning.
Yeah.
And obviously I've always supported them, and the gear is always really cool. So I always liked it. And recently, actually, I'd say I think it was 2018, I got heavily involved. I'll give you the full story. I'd taken my first trip to Thailand, and I seen kids 16, 17, 20. They're all just living there, training, fighting. I'm like, why am I not doing this? Like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And so I got back, and I have to share this because it's very specific. There's a group called the Dirty Heads. It's like a reggae group. They have a song called Vacation. Essentially, the whole song is about, people that work jobs they don't like and they don't go for their dreams. And the song played and put a seed in my head. I quit my job. Like a week later, I gave them notice. And yeah, like, I don't know. It spoke to me. I said, if I won the lotto, what would I do? I'd quit my job and I'd go to Thailand or, fight full time. So I don't need to win the lotto to do that, So I'm essentially living my dream life. But Dimitri, slight back history. Dimitri got involved with the company. Him and Shannon are, co-owners. And I met him. He's from New York. He was training at our gym, and our gym closed down. So he started up a gym, Legend Muay Thai, which is where we were all training and grinding for a couple years. Asa Tempao was training with us there as well.
That guy.
Anyway, so
good, by the way,
what's that?
Asa Tempao. That guy's a fucking beast.
The monster.
Yeah, I remember seeing him come up through amateurs, and people are like, man, who the fuck's this Asa Tempao? And you look at his track record, you're like, oh, this guy has fought everybody, but no one knew who he was because he was in Florida.
Right. And Florida has a pretty non-existent Muay Thai scene.
Yeah.
It's non-existent.
No,
I mean, it's getting up there. I mean, he definitely brought some light. So. Yeah,
look what he's done. Fucking fight on Glory and shit too.
I'm real proud of that kid. I've known him since I started training. I met him. I have videos when we're sparring. Like, I'd been training for like 2 months, and he's boxing, going easy on me and stuff. It's funny.
Yeah.
He's come a long way, and now he's up at the top. So it's really cool.
Yeah. So you were training with them. They had Legends Muay Thai.
Right. So that's how me and Dimitri. Like, obviously, he was my trainer, friend as well, and I was talking to him obviously before I quit my job, so I'm not that crazy. You got to have a plan. Yeah. And basically I was telling him what I was thinking, and that's where he's like, well, listen, you could do this for us. It gives you can do it from anywhere in the world, so it would fit in with your plan. And I kind of jumped on that and started doing the custom sales. So 2018, that's how I got involved.
That's when it was like, hey, I'm doing this.
Yep.
Hell yeah, because right now, I mean, I'm not calling you old, okay? But in fighting at 32, 31, it's like, hey, you got to do it now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's something that, it is on my mind, because I have quite a bit I still want to achieve, and I'm definitely feeling like, I mean, I'm good and all, but I feel deterioration. Knees are sore. You wake up, you feel it. You feel it. Whereas when I was 21 years old, I'd walk into the gym and just start doing hard sparring rounds. Now, if I'm not warming up, I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah, you pull a muscle or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've definitely noticed that, like, compared to early 20s and, like, when I was, like, 18, 19 training to now, it's like, people are like, oh, just spar. I'm like, whoa, I need to warm up for 10 minutes.
Absolutely. You have to.
Yeah.
You definitely, like, I have done it and I've hurt myself, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
100% certainty.
I went through, like, a training cycle myself for a while where it was like, oh, I can just jump into sparring. And, like, maybe I'd be okay for a session or two, and then I would hurt my shoulder. Or I would tweak my neck. Like, someone yanked my neck when we were clinching. It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Dumbass. Like, I'm saying that to myself, back in my head.
Only be mad at yourself.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, man. So, how long have you been training Muay Thai for?
I started training the end of 2009. My first competition was February of 2010. So I've basically been competing for 10 years.
Yeah.
Which is,
it's a good amount of time. So, did you do any martial arts or combat sports before that?
No, actually, before that, I was big into football. I played high school football. I wanted to play in college.
Oh, shit.
That was not going to happen. I've learned a lot in these 10 years, and one of the things I've learned is what it takes to be successful. I've been surrounded by very successful people, and you see what they do. You have to eat it, sleep it, dream it. Like, you have to live it 100%. Yeah. And I wasn't even coming close to that. So that was just a kid dream, But yeah. I actually, one of my good friends got me into this. I went to watch his first kickboxing bout, and I was hooked. Like, edge of my seat. Like, you know how it is. You watching somebody in there. It's a little different.
Yeah, you feel it for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I was like, all right, I got to do this. I'm just gonna go to get in shape. I knew I wanted to fight. Like,
yeah, that's why you started though. It was like, I'm gonna go get in shape. Like, I'm gonna do this for fun.
I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to admit it to people. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get into shape. And my first trainer, he threw me in there 3 months later.
Man, I had the same thing happen to me.
Yeah.
Same thing. I started when I was 18, and I was doing it for, like, mental health, stay in shape and stuff like that. I need something consistent. I had some anxiety stuff from, like, when I was a teenager, and doctor's like, yo, you got to work out every day. Oh, fuck. Okay. I got over it. We talked about it in one of our podcast episodes, so I won't go over it too much. But I found it, and then it was like 3 months later, they had a smoker at the gym. One of my friends that I was training with, he's like, hey, I saw your name on the list. I'm like, I didn't put it up there. He's like, I know, I did.
What?
So I was like, all right, let's do it. So
cool.
The same thing, and my coach was like, yeah, dude, you should just do it. It'll be fun. You'll learn from it. So, and then you get hooked. You're like, I want to get better at this.
Oh yeah, it's very addicting, but it's a very healthy thing to be addicted to, because it is not just about fighting. It's about becoming a better person, physically, mentally, every aspect of it. That's essentially, to me, what martial arts is.
Yeah.
And but that first fight, I won a split decision. It was a close one. Like, both of us were just
gas.
That was my very first, and later on that night, Asa was still amateur. He was like the main event, so I was there for that. That was cool. So I mean, I've seen him. He put a lot of work in before I met him, but he's come up, man.
Yeah. Like I said, look at that guy now. So anybody listen to this, I'll make sure to link he's on Instagram, right? Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get his Instagram. I'll put it in the show notes so people can go check him out, because he's a fucking badass. You guys should definitely go check out his fights. He has tricks up his sleeve and shit too. He does stuff that you wouldn't expect. Very just clean Muay Thai too, but you can also mix it up with kickboxing and all that shit also. So, all right. So, and for those that don't know too, I ended up meeting you just through the internet through Muay Thai Addict. You guys did like some of our academy trunk design that we had done through Muay Thai Addict. So any of our students listening, the pink shorts, red shorts. This guy Stephen right here is the one that made those happen. Fuck yeah. Also, those jerseys that you made for us too for our instructors. Those are pretty sick.
I really wanted to cop one of those. I was like, oh, let's just take that.
Yeah, well, I know I ordered a lot, but maybe I can figure out a way to hook you up with one. They're just sitting there right now, man. They're not going anywhere because of everything that's going on right now.
Brings us back to the whole lockdown.
Man, so... we met through that, and then actually met you in person. Did I meet you at one of the tournaments, or was it at the Worlds last year?
I think we met in Thailand at IFMA.
At IFMA Worlds, in Bangkok.
Sure, I think that was the first time that we've met personally.
Yeah, I think it was, but it was like, I was like, hey, Steven, it's the guy who makes all our stuff.
It took me a minute to realize who you were. I was thrown off because you're on the other side of the world, you know? Yeah. You're not expecting to run into somebody that you know. It was cool, though. It was cool.
Yeah, for me, like, I get used to it because I travel so much. I've been to Thailand a lot, and, like, now, the Muay Thai world's, like, that big. It's the size of a marble in relationship to the world. And especially when you come into, like, those tournaments and everything like that, too. You end up just running to everybody. Everybody's connected in some way.
It's funny you say that. There's something that Chris Tran said to me once. I'm pretty sure he said it to me, or maybe he posted it online. I don't remember at this point, but it's essentially, Muay Thai is a very small community spread across the entire world.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. Exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah, it's not that big, and. I think a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their heads around it, especially if they're new to the community. They think it's like, oh, it's this big thing. There's fights. It's like, not here in the U.S., man.
Nope.
Not yet, at least. Hopefully soon. So we met at the IFMA tournament. What did you think of IFMA? Was that your first time there?
No, actually, my first time I fought down in Mexico in 2018.
Yeah.
No, it was the Worlds. They had
Worlds.
In Cancun. Yeah.
Oh, it was the one in Cancun, not Argentina. Correct.
That was a really cool experience. A very good experience. I met a lot of like Janet Todd, Jesse, like all these people who I've seen on social media. You meet them in real life, and it's cool to to actually meet them. But
did you fight in the A class or?
So the story with that I fought B class at 86 kilograms.
Big boys.
Which is 189. Same day weigh-in, so you would think that would like keep the size down, but those dudes are monstrous, bro.
Yeah.
I ended up fighting a guy who was 6'4". My team was telling me that they're whispering like, "That's the guy Steven's fighting." Like, what? It was that stuff.
How tall are you, Steven?
I'm 5'11".
You're 5'11". I've been there before at 140 pounds, man.
Oh, it's crazy. Some of these dudes, they got that height, and Muay Thai is definitely like a tall man's sport. The taller you are, the better you're gonna do, the longer. So, but that was a hell of an experience over there. People talk about the IFMAs, and they try and get the point across, like you don't understand what it's like. Like, oh, it's amateur. They're wearing pads. No, there's like the best fighters in the world are there.
Yeah,
and, there's a lot of them.
That's to go into like they had the A class, B class. So B class, you were wearing chest protectors, right? They had
to wear chest protectors, shin guards, headgear, elbow pads.
And then A class, they just take away the chest guard, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And those are the people who are like pro fighters that you'll see that are on there. Is like Yatsen Claw, I've seen Narpol in there. There was Artem Levin fought in A class one year. I've talked about him a few times, and he was at Marcus. Just the who's who in like professional Muay Thai fighting that tournament every year.
Yeah,
So,
it's wild. I mean, even the B class, you're still fighting against professionals. It's just, basically, I think the way most of the countries do it is they have a tournament to see who's qualifying. First place is A class, second place is B class.
B class.
So you're still fighting. Like the guy that I ended up getting matched up with was some pro from Bulgaria. And it's funny because I was, I don't study tape too much, but I do want to see what they look like, kind of get a feel, like a vibe for what kind of fighter they are.
Yeah.
And that was the one dude that I was like, all right, this probably would not be a great fight for me.
And you get matched up with him.
I drew him right off the bat. I'm like, are you kidding me?
How'd you do in that one?
So I lost the fight, but it was a great fight for me. To be totally honest, so as an amateur, I've had like 35 fights. That was probably like my favorite fight, even over any of my wins. Like it was probably one of my best performances. It was interesting. The dude came out and like he basically was stalking me around, and he hit me hard. Like I felt it. I was like, oh shit! Like I just got rocked. It was the first time I've been rocked hard like that. I'm like, okay. And so I just started fighting this dude, and I guess I was just not being active enough, and the ref 8 counted. I was like, all right, like, damn, I didn't think it was necessary, but it happens.
Yeah.
But then I proceeded to get the second round. I was taking it to this dude, like outpointing him easily, like body kick, body kick, body kick. And the ref just stopped, 8 counted me. I was like, okay. Like everybody was pretty upset about it. And the same thing in the third round.
Well, that's like going into like the referee stuff. I was talking with one of the referees for IFMA about how they bring in new referees for these tournaments because they're trying to expand so fast. Mm-hmm. And we saw it when we were in Bangkok. There's some of the referees like, what the fuck is this guy doing in the ring? Much less at like a World Championship tournament. I literally saw a ref at that World Championship wave off a fight because the person messed up their knee. And then the doctor came in and everything. And then after the doctor checked that one out, they went, fight! And they continued the fight. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? So you see that indecisiveness and like the nervousness because they're nervous just like the fighters are, but they shouldn't be. They're at a World Championship tournament.
Yeah,
they're kind of just thrown in there.
It's hard because they are reffing hundreds of fights and even with the judges, they're watching nonstop fight after fight after fight for 5 days straight or whatever it is. I mean, so it's understandable.
Yeah, it happens. But it sucks when it does, especially to somebody and I'll say it too, as like as a referee and judge myself too, is like I'm always like I hope I'm never that person. And I'm always so on top of my game. Like I treat when I'm refereeing or officiating or like sanctioning like a bout, I always treat it as if I was fighting. To be that focused in the zone, aware of everything. Because if you're just lazy, drinking or whatever it is, like how do you think you're going to perform as a referee and a ring official?
True.
You're going to fucking
True.
suck.
I mean, so let me ask you, because that's something that I haven't really put any, effort into as far as like, officiating, judging.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to focus on myself as a fighter. But when you're scoring, like, let's stick to Muay Thai rules. Yeah. There's so many different ways that they seem to score. Body kicks are big. Creating an effect is big. If you hit somebody in the face and their head snaps back, that's a big point. But at the same time, like, you got to score damage.
So this is the way I was taught. So, and the thing is, there's a lot of pros and cons to every single sanctioning body's system of scoring. There's pros and cons to all of them. The way I was taught, and it's the one that's for WBC Muay Thai, it's the one that made the most sense and it's the simplest for me to understand. I'll explain it right here. So when you think about Muay Thai, you have balance, basics, technique, offense, and defense, right? So that's like your fundamentals for Muay Thai. So your defense, right? So the first thing, you kind of score in reverse order for that. So you have first damage. How much damage is the person doing? Okay? So whoever's doing the most damage in the round is going to win. If they're both equal, then after damage, you go over, like the Thai guys say speed, but it's how many times they're getting hit, how many strikes, volume. All right? So if they're doing the same amount of damage, and the person who's hitting more now is going to win. So if both of those are equal, then you go into balance technique. Okay, so then who's showing more Muay Thai techniques? Sweeps, using their teeps, hitting the shoulders, legs. Who's using their knees from the outside, from the clinch, round knees, straight knees, detached knees, elbows, all the tools that you have in Muay Thai. Okay, let's say that both of those are equal. Next one they go into is basics. Basics being like your stance, your posture, your breathing. Are you turning your hand all the way over on your punch, or is it sloppy in landing? Is your ring control good? All right, so after you go through basics, who has better basics? If they're both equal, very rarely are they both equal, but it does happen, especially at a higher level. Then you go into balance. So that's like the last thing. So if me and you're equal in all those aspects, Stephen, we're fighting. I kick you and you don't move, and you kick me and I stagger a little bit. You're the stronger fighter. So it can come down to something that minuscule. When it comes into scoring, most systems are the same, but then they have different criteria for what is like basically a tell for showing a break in balance. What is a tell for damage? And what is a tell for aggression? Is aggression considered like that speed, or does it cause damage? So you'll see different ways of scoring that capacity, but that 5-step system was taught to me by my mentor, Knockweed, and he teaches around the world. And I haven't heard it broken down that simply since then. I find a lot of people kind of get lost in like with the what ifs, but he's just like, hey, you always come down to that. If they're equal through all the thing, which they're probably not.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, you can't. There's going to be a winner or a loser.
I mean, I do like the sounds of that scoring system. It makes it pretty simple if you judge based on
that criteria.
Step. I can guarantee you, at least from my personal experience and from fights that I've seen,
it's not like that.
They're not scored like that at all. The biggest thing that, and it definitely depends what rule set you're fighting, but in America, if you're fighting Muay Thai, you're essentially, unfortunately, you're fighting kickboxing. A lot, it's getting better for sure. It's getting better, but pressure, whoever's the aggressor is usually winning.
And that's where it comes into educating for people. The USMF's trying to do their job to do it. Patrick Rivera does. What was that?
It's great to see that too. They host seminars all the time.
Yeah, and it's to try to educate people. And a lot of these people who do these referee things, we're at like a lot of like business conventions, and we talk about this stuff and how it's important to educate our students on it too. So like for me, owning an academy, running a program, I had to educate my students on this too. Because the better educated audience is, the better people are going to understand the scoring. And you never know, maybe one of those people becomes a referee or a ring official someday.
Yeah.
So last thing I want is some guy's like, oh, scoring the fight complete opposite, and they're like, oh, you trained with Jonathan? Then that comes into just like educating. So that's, I guess to answer your question on that, it is getting better, but it does require more education and like codifying of all the different organizations to have like a base rule set to go on. And
that's a really exciting thing too. That's happening. They're at least they're trying to unify. They're trying to get that set up where everything's going to be. They're getting ready for the Olympics. Muay Thai to be in the Olympics. That's exciting.
Yeah. And I really hope as that stuff continues to move forward, that like they really stay true to what Muay Thai is, and we don't go through the stuff that boxing and like Taekwondo did, because it's a shame.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's always Thailand. There's always pro fights.
That's right. That's right. No, those fights in the stadiums are so fun to go to.
Yeah.
Like the crowd. That's really like, before I'm done competing, that's really what I want to do. Like, I just want to be able to fight in front of a crowd like that. That's so into the fight that you just see it, the whole building shakes. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool.
It is. And if for those that haven't been there, the best way I could describe it, it's like a gladiator arena. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
It's like you hear it from the outside, you're like, whoa, what the fuck is that? And like, oh, it's the people inside. Oh, shit, that's for the fights.
That's the closest thing, that today's society has to the gladiators. I mean, it is fighting MMA, Muay Thai, but especially there, people are getting pulled out in stretchers here and there. So it's no joke.
No, and that's their full-time job, is to train and do this all the time. Just like you're working for Muay Thai Addict and you get to do Muay Thai training also. Imagine if you just got to train. Yeah. So, and some people do that. We've had one of our students, she had a sponsorship over in Phuket, and that's a hard fucking life, I'll tell you that. Because I had her on the podcast last, I think. That girl went through some shit. Her name is Carity.
Yep.
I felt... when I was over there, I felt bad for her. Because I just saw her getting treated like garbage by some of the people there. Not the trainers, but just some of the people she had to take care of at the gym. And it was... it's not an easy life, that's for sure. But for her, she was saying it was worth it.
Yeah, I bet it was. I mean, it's a very simple life. Very, it's easy. I think it's easy to become happy when you have something that you're working towards and it's very direct. Like, oh, I'm putting in my time. I'm on the way to my goal. I'm happy. Whether you're winning or not, that should be irrelevant. Like, you're working towards your
fulfilled.
goal.
You're fulfilled.
Precisely.
Yeah, fulfilled. Exactly. So, as you've gone through Muay Thai, you were just in Thailand. Where were you training at in Thailand recently?
I was at Kiat Fun Tip in Bangkok, and that gym was top notch. I loved it. I've been 3 times to Thailand. I've trained at a couple different gyms, and that was my favorite.
They have good trainers there.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Like one of the trainers, spent a few days, working with me, kind of exclusively. Like we would always start with warm up, and then we do pad rounds, and then you just go with whoever, Yeah,
everybody's the same at that point.
Yeah, but he would come get me, and he would put it on me. It was, how the Thai trainers can be.
Yeah, they're just like, nope, you're working with me and we're doing this right now. Yeah.
So you're gonna get dumped, you're gonna get flipped, you're gonna look stupid, and it was great. And he broke it down. It just showed me some very simple things that I never really focused on, and very beneficial. So yeah, that gym, I loved it. It was really cool. My room that I stayed at was literally like 5 feet away from the ring.
Oh, that's the best.
So you just walk out the door and you're sleeping at the gym. You're at a gym. Like it was nice, but you're at a gym. You're at a camp. It's not, if you want to go train somewhere and stay at a 5-star hotel, that's not where.
That's not it.
You want to go be, train and fight. That's where you want to go. So.
Yeah, I just made like a quiz I put up. It was like, where in Thailand should you go for your first time? And it goes through like the process of like, because I've had so many people ask me, where should I go train? I want to, like, not in particular to like gyms, but like what area of Thailand should they go to? And it's like, well, what do you want? Like, what do you want out of your training? And like you said, you're not going to go to a Bangkok gym if you want a vacation.
Right.
You're going there to learn and fight or learn how to fight and get better. Because that's where the best fighters are at, bottom line. So, did you train anywhere outside of Bangkok?
On this trip, or just
in general?
I had gone to Phuket. I was there for like a week.
Different down there, huh?
So yeah, I mean, it was so it was Sitson Penang when it was like, I think they've changed to like Revolution.
Revolution Gym, yeah.
Yeah, it was a cool spot. I mean, at the time that I was there, it definitely, they have legit trainers.
Yeah.
And there's a couple. I think the Magnus Anderson. I'm actually not sure his name, but he's like the Swedish Viking guy. He fought on Lion Fights. I think he won the belt. Mm-hmm. He was there. So I mean, they have had legit fighters while I was there, but it definitely during my trip was more like a come vacation and train, get real training. But as opposed to where I was just at, there was a ton of fighters from all over the world there.
For sure. And what I see in Phuket is the general people that come through there are like that vacation train, the fighters that are on sponsorship there. Like I met, do you know who Chad Collins is?
Chad Collins, I actually designed some shorts for him for the owner of that gym. I think he was training with them. Yeah,
he was training there. So like you get fighters like that are there. For those that don't know who Chad Collins is, fucking badass. Probably one of the best foreigners that's fighting in Thailand. There's also him and Michael Savas. They're up there. But he was trained down there. And, you get people like that there. They're there as a sponsored fighter, training full-time, working at the gym, doing that kind of stuff too. And then most of the people that come through are just on vacation mode. You do get some fighters like yourself that are there training, but the vibe is different.
Well, it's a beautiful place to go. It's amazing. I would describe it like, have you ever been to Key West?
No, I haven't, but I've seen pictures.
Well, you're gonna have to come down. Come to Florida. We'll hit up the Keys.
Dude, got it.
But I would say it's like the America's Key West. That's what Phuket is for Thailand.
With the Russian twist.
yeah.
That's I was actually really surprised the first time I went down there. I was like, holy shit, all the signs are in Russian. Fuck. That's crazy.
It's interesting. It's interesting how many different countries are represented. You meet it's like a central hub. Like so many people go to Thailand. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's nuts. So this past trip, when you were training in Bangkok, you were supposed to fight, you were telling me, on Max Muay Thai, correct?
So, oh my goodness.
Do you want to go into it? We don't have to.
No, we can go into it for sure. The whole reason that I went to Thailand on this trip, I was supposed to do the WMO World Tournament that they have over there.
That's right.
And I trained my ass off for that. I was gonna do 81 kilogram, which is 178 pounds, same day weigh-in. So I had to get. I was running every day, 6 miles a day, just killing it. I was ready, and I woke up at 5 a.m, with the whole jet lag stuff. Your timing's all messed up. And I checked my phone, and there's a group message from the WMO team. They're like, hey, they just canceled the tournament. And I was devastated. I was just mad at first. I was really pissed. And then it turned to, just sheer sadness. It was bad, man. It was bad.
Well, yeah, that's the sacrifice, going over there and planning to be there. Yeah, I can't imagine. There's a couple guys here from the West Coast also that went through that. They flew over there and they're like, oh, tournament's canceled. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, it's fine that it happened because it was an amazing trip. Just the training that I was getting in over there, I was really happy with it. So it was totally worth it. But yeah, so I started off the trip with that. And... It was tough, man. That was tough. But, and thoughts. So I've noticed the last 2 times I've gone over there, when I get there, I immediately feel homesick. Immediately, I kind of miss home. I don't know why. But so as soon as I found that out, thoughts crossed through my mind, fuck it, I'm going to go home. It crossed my mind, but I'm like, I'm here. There's no better place to be. So let me just gut it out, and I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had a few weeks went by. I was training very hard, and during this, so I should mention it was canceled because of the COVID.
Yeah,
And
coronavirus.
yeah, and actually, like that was to my knowledge, that's the first thing that I'd heard of being canceled. Like it's not like I went over there during the middle of all the shutdowns. Like
No.
obviously,
No.
like I'd heard about it, and people are like, "Oh, are you still going to go to Thailand even knowing this stuff's going on?" I'm like, "Of course I'm going to go." It's just the news hyping stuff up, like
Yeah, and it's only in China. Yeah, it's nearby town, but at that point it was only China.
Right. I hadn't heard anything about Thailand, and of course I'm still gonna go. I had sponsors to help me get over there, so so I was definitely going whether there was a slight risk of getting sick or something like that.
Yeah.
So then they canceled it, and that's when things started. That was like the first domino of a whole trail of dominoes. They started talking about, I think, Lumpini. A few people got sick from there. And then they like shut down all the shows, like everything. Henry Lee, do you know Henry?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he's out there. I think it's Phuket Top Team.
Okay.
He's training at, I think. But they shut his fight. Like everybody just shut down, and then things started. They kind of took a step back. They're like, okay. It's they started opening things back up. Oh, we're gonna have this fight on this date, this, and that. So it looked like things were getting better. And the owner of that gym, Rob Cox, is the owner of from Tip. He was working on setting up a fight. Got matched up with someone from Fairtex, a Thai from Fairtex. So I was excited about that. Bro, I was so excited. Like I've never had that kind of like motivation before. Like you're fighting someone from Fairtex and he's a Thai. He's gonna be the real deal. So I put everything into that for like 2 weeks. We were grinding it out, and then one of the dudes from Australia, we were all like, it was a really cool setup. We would all have breakfast and dinner together or whatnot, like just all the fighters. It was really cool. But he's like, yeah, I'm going home tonight. We're like, what?
Why?
In 2 weeks. He's like, yeah, Australia's closing the border on Friday. We're like, what? And I'm like, man, that's stressing me out. And then when Rob tells me, he's like, well, I hate to stress you out more, but they might be shutting Max down. I'm like, no. So the next day they shut it down. Oh, and that was that.
That's being in Thailand and getting that news of all that shit hitting the fan. On top of the original reason why you're out there and that getting canceled, I can't even imagine. By that point, you're probably just used to it, though. You're just like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, I had planned, so my master plan was to go over there, win the WMO. Like that was like I was like very mentally, like I mentally brainwashed myself. I'd be out running I ran 6 every day, getting ready, and I'd be like, I'm the 2020 81 kilogram champion. Like I was gonna happen.
You're living it.
It was gonna happen, and but that was only part A. So originally I flew to Bangkok. The tournament was going to be in Pattaya, so I was going to get like a week or 2 of training, get adjusted. Kind of like let the gym see who I am, that I'm serious, I'm training. So then after the tournament, I would come back, and I was going to stay for 1 to 2 months and get as many pro fights as I could, which I haven't had a pro fight yet in the States. I'm still amateur here. But so that was my plan. I planned to stay for quite a while, and yeah, it just got trashed. I even went as far, I had to go to immigration and extend my stay for another 30 days because the fight was scheduled like a week later from when I was supposed to, from the original 30 days. And that in itself was pretty terrifying because there was probably like 1,000 or more people crammed in. Like imagine the worst line at the DMV you've ever seen.
That's it right
times
there.
10 with a bunch of people from all over the world, plenty of Chinese people. Like and I had no mask. Everyone's wearing a mask. I'm like, I'm an idiot.
You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. But yeah, so.
And have you been to Channel 7 Stadium?
Channel 7 Stadium.
Bangkok.
Which shows do they have at Channel 7?
It's the Sunday show they have on Channel 7 in Bangkok every Sunday. It's free. Next time you're out there, go. First time I went there, we waited in line, and it was like that. The line to get in was like the DMV, and everybody's wearing masks. They gave us masks to put on. I'm like, oh shit, I guess I should put this on. This is back when like SARS and bird flu was going around, so I'm like, oh fuck yeah, give me the mask. And once we got in there, we're crammed like this for 5 hours, like shoulder to shoulder with all the people in the audience. We're like, oh fuck! Like I held my piss I had pee for like 5 hours. Best pee ever. They're like, yeah, you can go to the bathroom, but you can't come back in.
Right.
Oh, fuck no, I'm staying here.
No, I was asking which one it was because I wasn't sure. The only studio one that I've been to was Work Point.
Okay, that was nice.
That's where they had like the All-Star with Bacal's promotion.
Yeah,
and that place is like actually I was there for a show they have called 10 Fight 10. It's like a celebrity boxing type thing where like they'll take celebrities and train them at the and they were training at the gym that I was at. This was a different trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really, really top notch place. Like,
yeah, I went there for Kunlun fight. They did a free fight there.
Really?
Someone from Sipsong Pinong Phuket was fighting there also. Shout out to my friend Mitch Viquez. I just posted a photo on our Instagram. Funny, it came up in my story. He was living out there and videotaping and doing photo stuff for AKA Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai. And he was like, hey, I'm coming up to Bangkok. I get to come visit you. It's when I happened to be there. And he was videoing one of the... He's like, yeah, there's fights. The Kunlun fight. He's like, I think it's free. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, Bocal's fighting. So we saw Bocao fight in Thailand. And like Jomtong Chuatano was fighting there. He schooled some Chinese guy. And Bocao schooled some Chinese guy. And there was a guy from Italy fighting against Artur... Yeah. What's his last name again?
Kashenko?
Yeah. So Artur Kashenko. He was fighting there. And that's the first time I've seen that guy in person. That guy's fucking stacked now. I remember seeing him fight on K1 when he was like 19. This guy from the Ukraine. But he was fighting against this Italian kid who was training at the gym I was at in Bangkok because his gym had a tie to it. And we're like, this guy's fighting Artur Kashenko. Isn't he kind of small? Apparently when they had Kunlun fight in Europe, this kid saw Artur Kashenko fight. He rushed the ring and grabbed the microphone and challenged him to a fight, and that's how this happened.
Oh, wow. Big mistake, buddy.
He actually did okay for like the first 2 rounds or first round and a half, and then he just got fucked up. So, and then Artur Kashenko was like, let this be a lesson to you, respect your elders, stop talking shit. And it was like very much like, know your place, boy. And
I mean, I guess that's one way to get a high profile fight or a big fight.
Yeah, some fighters, that's what they have to do to get it. I was talking about Joe Schilling. He had to do it to get the fights that he needed to get. He didn't literally jump into a ring, but be vocal.
Man, I was a big fan of Joe Schilling back in the day when he was like before the whole Glory tournament that he won. Like, he was a bad dude. He's still a bad dude.
Yeah, he is, man. And I explained it before, but I'll just bear repeating. That guy got the shit under the stick so many times in regards to fighting up through the ranks. Like, him and Artem Levin were supposed to fight each other so many times, and Artem wasn't ducking him, but I believe his management was ducking him hard. Like, I saw, like, there was fights where Artem was supposed to fight somebody, and that person he's supposed to fight pulled out with an injury, and Joe's like, hey, I'll fight him. And literally, I'm friends with the promoter, and I would see them say, like, oh, well, he has a knee injury, we're going to get surgery now instead. It's like, wait, what? Like, you were just about to fight, now all of a sudden you're going to get surgery? What the fuck?
What an epic fight for him. I think they fought in the final, and they went like 4 rounds.
Yeah, that was... And he got that knockdown in the last round, that's what got it.
Yeah. I remember watching that like live as it was happening. It was really late here.
Oh, it was like 2 a.m. probably.
3 hour time difference, and it was already a late card, I think, because they had 2 events in the same night. But that was cool to see somebody achieve what he did. Become the champion like that. Like, he was one of the first Americans to do something like that. It was really cool.
Yeah, and going back into like, the shit talking stuff. I know that's not your style, but would you do it if it gave you good fights?
Yeah, I think that I would definitely be willing to do it for, like, if I was targeting maybe one specific fight. But I wouldn't want to carry myself like that. It's just not who I am.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be fake. I'm not gonna. It's just I can't stand it. I'd be a hypocrite. Like Conor McGregor, the dude is like very talented. Like he's obviously so good, right? But
master shit talker.
Can't stand him. I can't stand him. Like I don't care who he's fighting. I hope he loses because I just don't like his attitude. Whether it's funny or not. Like,
well, that's the key for those guys is, when they talk shit like that, you're either going to tune in to see him win or tune in to see if they get their ass kicked. So, well, hey, Stephen, we're going to start wrapping things up here, man. I've been really enjoying talking to you. How can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, BattleTested8, all spelled out. Also, Muay Thai Addict. I'm all heavily involved with that. So either way, awesome. We have some exciting stuff coming out with Muay Thai Addict. We're gonna be dropping a Thailand gear line.
Nice.
Like real top-notch stuff. And,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah, man. Well, I'll definitely make sure to get those links in the show notes and everything like that too. But it's been really great having you on here, and I really appreciate your time and everything you guys do over at Muay Thai Addict. And stay tuned, and you have a great day, man.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.